If you have stomach issues, there is your sign that you are most likely not getting the most from your protein. Hi, my name is Phil. I'm with Silver Fern Brand. So a lot of people ask me, how do I best utilize my protein? And the reason people ask this is because they're consuming a crazy amount of protein, right? And the truth is yes, the small intestinal lining is where 90% of nutrients are absorbed, true, but digestion of protein starts in the stomach. If a person has reflux, heartburn, indigestion, nausea, stomach aches, pains, that feeling full sensation after eating where it just sits there forever, if they have signs that there are stomach issues, these are often connected to or linked to less than adequate amounts of stomach acid. Not always, but more than often, it is a sign you have less than adequate amounts of stomach acid. So here's a fact. Very few people have hypochlorhydria, which is the extreme version of too little stomach acid. And very few people have like Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, which is too much stomach acid. Very, very few people have that. Most people have lower than adequate amounts of stomach acid, so lower than optimal levels, okay? And lower than optimal levels of stomach acid is going to diminish the release of pepsin in the stomach, which is the enzyme that breaks down enzymes, 1. 2, lower than adequate amounts of stomach acid is a contributing cause to functional pancreatic insufficiency. Once again, not pancreatitis, functional pancreatic insufficiency. It just simply means your pancreas is not going to, it's going to struggle producing adequate amounts of enzymes. And both of these are going to cause bloating and gas and digestive discomfort that are frequently associated with food intolerances and sensitivities. Lower than adequate amounts of stomach acid is also a contributing cause of bacterial overgrowth of the small intestine. And many people that go on antibiotics for bacterial overgrowth still have bloating and gas and severe food intolerances and sensitivities because they never address low stomach acid, they never address the pancreas, and they never address the motility of the small intestine, which is a primary cause of bacterial overgrowth that also contributes to bloating and gas, just so everybody's aware. So what I'm going to suggest today is the appropriate way to do it. We call this our pre-cleanup protocol. So we're starting at the top and working down. It is the appropriate way, in my opinion, to address stomach issues. It is the appropriate way to prepare the digestive system, the gut specifically, for a cleanup. You are always going to be more successful with a cleanup if you unclog the pipes, if you turn on the system, if your stomach is healthy, if you have adequate amounts of bile flow to move toxins out, it's always going to be more effective, right? And when you have a slow system that's clogged, you're recycling toxins and pathogens. And when the system's clogged up, even if you were able to clear it, like to clean it all out, that slow system is a primary cause of pathogen overgrowth. So what is our approach to this pre-cleanup protocol, to this stomach protocol? For those that are that are taking eating a lot of protein, that have stomach issues, this is the appropriate way to address the underlying root causes behind poor utilization of protein at the stomach and at the intestinal lining area, okay? All right, so we have 2 products in this protocol, in this pre-cleanup protocol. One's called Motility, the other's called Reflux. Motility has 2 clinically studied ingredients. The first is picronil. It is an artichoke leaf extract that has been clinically studied to be up to 4 to 5 times more effective than standard artichoke leaf extract. It significantly increases bile secretion by up to 150%. This is important for primarily 3 reasons off the top of my head. 1, it's going to help with gastric emptying, moving things through. 2, you need bile for detoxing. If you don't have adequate amounts of bile, good luck detoxing the gut. It's not going to go very well. 3, low bile flow causes constipation. So if you have low bile secretion, it's a primary cause of constipation. So is this protocol also going to help with constipation? Yes, it will. And diarrhea, which takes me to the next ingredient. So motility also has digestion. Digestion is how we're helping the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagal nerve, okay? So whether you know it or not, the gut-brain axis is a real thing. And if you were to go in and onto a search engine and type in whatever your stomach issue or your gut issue is, and type it in and say parasympathetic nervous system dysfunction, you will most likely find that a parasympathetic nervous system dysfunction is a contributing cause to whatever your digestive health problem is. you will understand very quickly why digestion is an extremely important ingredient. Help restore parasympathetic nervous system function in order to turn the system on, to restore peristalsis through the system, the wave-like motion that's moving things through. It's extremely important for whatever you've got. The same ingredient, digestion, not only helps with reflux, heartburn, burping, belching, stomach aches, discomfort, all that kind of stuff. It's extremely important for helping with constipation and diarrhea. So a lot of people that have stomach issues will have diarrhea and constipation. Why? Well, because low stomach acid, lower than adequate amounts of stomach acid is a contributing cause of both constipation and diarrhea. A slow system, obviously, if you have constipation, you're going to have overflow diarrhea. And parasympathetic nervous system dysfunction is going to cause diarrhea. There you go. So digestion is going to help with all of those things. Digestion helps increase gastrin levels. Gastrin is a key hormone for digestion, extremely important for helping restore normal stomach acid levels. Once again, too much stomach acid is very rare, Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, not common, or if a person has been on PPIs and H2 blockers for a long time, suddenly stops taking them, they're going to get a hyperacidity response. That's too much stomach acid. Both of those are very rare. So there's that answer to that. So digestion and motility is a stomach all the way down product. We're helping restore normal systems. It's going to help restore or increase serotonin production by 30%. Low serotonin production, for example, causes constipation. It's going to significantly reduce cortisol levels up to 42%, I believe. By the way, this helping with stress response in the digestive system is extremely important. Go look at primary causes of stomach health problems and you will find stress. Digestion is helping with a healthy stress response. So extremely important ingredient. I can't emphasize that enough, okay? So we pair motility with reflux. Reflux has one hero ingredient in it at the clinical dosing, which is called Mucosal. The clinical dose is 400 milligrams. That is not a lot. That's just a teeny amount of powder. Mucosal is what we're using to coat and build a shield in the esophagus and the stomach lining. It does two things. One, that's going to protect against acid. Two, that's going to help restore a healthy esophagus and stomach lining. You need the stomach lining to be healthy, not only to block against stomach acid, but to help secrete healthy stomach acid levels, okay? Need it for multiple things. The Mucosal in reflux has a lot of clinical studies for significantly reducing stomach discomforts, for example, like reflux and heartburn issues by like 70% over 8 weeks. All right, so we're pairing two amazing products together to do a lot of clinical research studies behind both of them. We're pairing them together to be as effective as we can at helping address the whole system. If you have mild issues, you need the mild dosing. Mild being occasional. Occasional does not mean you're popping acid blockers. It doesn't mean you're on laxatives. Occasional means you're probably doing a little food avoidance, or if you eat the wrong things, the wrong type of foods that causes discomfort, maybe you get a little discomfort at night, you're starting to get that. That's mild. You would take one bottle of this and one bottle of this at the dosing on the product page for 60 days. And then we would suggest doing a gut cleanup at that point, okay? If you are on laxatives and acid blockers, you're going to do the moderate to severe protocol. You're going to do 90 days. Some people do up to 120 days. You're going to do, so it's 2 bottles of motility, 2 bottles of reflux. You're going to follow the instructions on that. You are not going to stop taking laxatives and acid blockers for at least 4 to 8 weeks. And then at that point, you will slowly start going down on them. Do not stop taking them right now. Don't do that. I didn't say that. We're helping restore systems. That takes time. It needs time, okay? We're helping. Remember, this is something you get to migrate off of. This is not something you're on it forever, okay? Next, once again, we suggest with the moderate to severe protocol, if you're trying to utilize nutrients like protein, the second step would be to go in and restore a healthy gut. There's a few options for that. You can either send us a direct message or you can follow the instructions on the Slow Motility page. Last but not least, if you have H. pylori issues, we have an even more aggressive protocol, meaning if you have really bad H. pylori, stomach issues, and you have really unhealthy inflammatory responses to the stomach lining, send us a message and we will send you the more aggressive protocol. Or if you just want to go really aggressive, which is typically my personality, go there, okay? I hope this helps. We are super effective. It is not the cheap gimmick approach that most people do, but it works. You're welcome. Bye.